Detectives believe they are closing in on Theo Silverton's killer in Coronation Street, but tonight's installment showed they may be completely mistaken. Summer Spellman, played by Harriet Bibby, found herself arrested this week after police identified her as the leading suspect in the murder case. Investigators became suspicious after spotting her wearing a brooch that was later discovered inside Theo's apartment, leading officers to bring her in for questioning. The situation quickly worsened when George Shuttleworth, portrayed by Tony Maudsley, informed DS Lisa Connor Swain, played by Vicki Myers, that Summer had been dishonest about where she was on the night Theo died. Things looked even more damaging when police discovered she had been preparing to leave the country just as officers arrived to arrest her, making the evidence against her appear overwhelming. Even so, during questioning, Summer continued to deny any involvement, firmly claiming Theo was still alive when she walked out of the flat. While speaking to detectives, she suddenly recalled that Tyrone Dobbs, played by Alan Halsall, had witnessed her leaving and had glanced up at the window where Theo had been standing moments earlier. Summer confidently told Lisa that Tyrone would support her version of events, prompting the detective to immediately seek him out for confirmation. Meanwhile, sitting alone in her prison cell, Summer remembered a disturbing encounter from the night Theo was killed, revealing that he had aggressively threatened her. Theo warned her that if she exposed him, she would be reunited with Billy Mayhew far sooner than she expected. Fans will remember that Billy died earlier this year after Theo trapped him inside the burning minivan during the Corriedale disaster, preventing him from escaping before the vehicle exploded. Terrified by Theo's chilling warning, Summer fled the flat while Theo remained alive inside, exactly as she had explained to police. Sadly for her, that account seemed to make no difference because Lisa later returned with devastating news. Tyrone had failed to support her statement. Summer was left stunned when Lisa informed her she was officially being charged with murder and would probably stay behind bars until the case reached trial. Now the question remains whether the real truth will emerge in time, or if Summer could face spending the rest of her life imprisoned for a murder she never committed. Fans of Coronation Street were left furious after Tyrone Dobbs made a shocking decision during Friday's dramatic episode. Viewers were stunned when Tyrone, a long-running favorite who has been part of the soap since 1998, deliberately misled police during the latest chapter of the murder storyline. The mechanic, portrayed by Alan Halsall, has become the newest Weatherfield resident dragged into the chaos surrounding Theo Silverton's death. Theo, played by James Cartwright, was killed during the program's heavily promoted Murder Week storyline after spending months abusing his partner, Todd Grimshaw. Alongside Todd, George Shuttleworth, Gary Windus, Summer Spellman, Christina Boyd, and Danielle Silverton were all officially named as suspects in the investigation. During recent episodes, DS Lisa Swain has become convinced that Summer was responsible for Theo's death, while the student found herself unable to clear her name after her brooch was discovered inside Theo's flat. Summer already despised Theo before he died after learning he was responsible for the death of Billy Mayhew during the soap's crossover episodes with Emmerdale. In another tense police interview shown in the latest installment, Lisa confronted Summer with new forensic evidence. She informed her that traces of Theo's blood had been found on the brooch and demanded an explanation for how it got there. Clearly distressed and close to tears, Summer explained that Theo must have grabbed her during their confrontation. She admitted she couldn't remember the brooch coming loose, but insisted it likely happened while he was holding on to her. She also described Theo's behavior that night as unhinged and frightening. Summer then told Lisa that Tyrone had seen her leaving the flat on the night of the murder and could confirm Theo was still alive at the time. Lisa immediately headed to number 9 to question Tyrone, but he denied ever seeing Summer that evening. Believing Tyrone's statement, Lisa returned to Summer's holding cell and officially charged her with murder, revealing she would soon be transferred to prison. However, the episode later confirmed Summer's innocence through a flashback showing Theo alive after she had already left the flat. Another flashback also exposed that Tyrone had in fact seen Summer that night and had knowingly lied to the detective. Viewers remain uncertain about Tyrone's motive, though some fans suspect he may have accidentally dropped a car onto Carl Webster in the garage that same evening as revenge for Carl previously running him over and leaving him wheelchair-bound. Many fans quickly took to social media to express their anger over Tyrone's actions, with several branding his behavior unforgivable. One viewer wrote on Reddit that Tyrone had falsely implicated a vulnerable young woman in a murder case despite everything she had already suffered, including losing 2 father figures and supporting Todd through domestic abuse trauma. The fan added that Tyrone's behavior was despicable and hoped both legal consequences and backlash from the street would follow once the truth emerged. Another viewer admitted they were shocked when Tyrone lied and said the theory about him injuring Carl suddenly made perfect sense, though they questioned why investigators hadn't checked the building's doorbell footage. A third fan praised Alan Halsall while criticizing the character's behavior, saying Tyrone had crossed a serious line by refusing to defend Summer. Meanwhile, another commenter described Tyrone as cowardly, arguing that with proper legal support, he could easily explain the garage incident as an accident, especially given Carl's own suspicious behavior around the vehicle. Coronation Street actor Patty Bever has secured an exciting new project following his departure from the soap earlier this year. The former Max Turner star is leaving Weatherfield behind and heading to London's West End after joining the cast of Stranger Things: The First Shadow. Bever is set to take on the major role of Henry Creel in the stage adaptation, which first premiered in 2023. The character was originally portrayed by Lewis McCartney before being succeeded by Louis Healey. Inspired by the hit Stranger Things series, the production explores the dark backstory of Henry Creel, later known as Vecna. The story transports audiences to 1959 as the Creel family settles in Hawkins, where young Henry begins struggling with his terrifying supernatural abilities. The casting announcement was revealed through the production's official Instagram page, which teased, "Class, we have a new student coming to Hawkins High." The post also confirmed that Patty Bever would officially step into the role of Henry Creel beginning on the 12th of June, alongside a first-look image of the actor dressed as the infamous villain. Fans quickly flooded the comments with congratulatory messages, including several of Bever's former Corrie co-stars. Sidney Martin, Jane Danson, and Jack P. Shepard were among those celebrating the news online. Jude Riordan commented that he would now have to return to watch the production again, while Lucy Fallon shared how thrilled she was for him. Tony Maudsley also praised Bever's achievement, saying hard work had paid off, while Georgia Taylor described the casting as brilliant news. Meanwhile, Anthony Cotton expressed his excitement by calling the announcement excellent news for the young actor. Patty Bever will officially make his first appearance in Stranger Things: The First Shadow on the 12th of June at the Phoenix Theater. Coronation Street continues airing on ITV1 during weeknights at 8:30 p.m. and is also available for streaming on ITVX.